Hey people, it is Thursday, July the 29th, and it is 12:10 in the afternoon. And I'm here right by the corner of Yonge Street and College Street. And I'll be taking a walk west here along College Street for a little ways. But then I will venture north into somewhat uncharted territory. For me, I'll be taking an alleyway called Croft Street, which is actually more of an alleyway than a street, even though it's called Croft Street and not Croft Alley. But in any case, I've never done a video along Croft Street before. And then I think I'll continue north through another alleyway all the way up to Bloor Street. So this will be a partial regular street walking video and then an alley walking video for the remainder. So it's around 20 degrees Celsius and it's been raining on and off through most of the morning, and I think it will continue through the afternoon. I do have my umbrella handy just in case of a sudden downpour. And it is rather sticky feeling outside. That's been the case for the last several weeks, really. The humidity has just been stubbornly high, even though the temperature has not always been terribly hot. The humidity just makes it feel gross in any case. Here's Bay Street. I'm just wondering, maybe I'll cross to the north side of College, since that is where I'll be heading up Croft Street from. And I'm making sure to keep an eye out for puddles. Try to avoid getting a soaker.
Wait.
Yes. Hello. Hi there. Alright, that was unusual. So I've been noticing in recent days that there seems to be more activity than ever downtown, even in the traditional office areas and on the subways, and the rush hours seem to be full of more actual people as opposed to strictly auto traffic. So it kind of gives the impression that maybe a fair number of people are back in the office again, or at least working a few days a week at the office. And the ever-present construction detour. Do some fancy footwork to avoid stepping in these big puddles, because these shoes are not waterproof. And unfortunately they've developed a couple of cracks in the bottom, which allows water to get right in and soak my socks. And that's one of the worst feelings ever, walking around with wet socks. So I avoid it at all costs. Alright, here's University Avenue. I just like to do a little 360 every now and then. That's the CN Tower, half covered in foggy, low-hanging clouds. Or I guess misty would be the proper word.
Well, why don't you just use those muscles?
.506 Carlton. It's heading all the way to Main Station. That's way in the East End. And then there's the mist-covered CN Tower again. The top of it is completely obscured. Here's a look up into the U of T campus. This part of College Street sort of runs along the southern border of the University of Toronto campus. And I'm guessing that's why it was called College Street. Although it doesn't run directly through the campus, though. That would be Harvard Street, that actually runs right through the center of the campus, which is the next major street north here from College.
I don't blame them, right? They can't prove anything, so what are they going to say?
And a number of new student residence buildings have sprung up along this area, including this hulking monstrosity, which happens to sit right beside this beautiful old library building. Talk about Beauty and the Beast. And here they've retained this old historic facade of this old building, but this thing is sitting on top of it, which is maybe not as much of a horrid monstrosity as that thing, but in any case, it's not exactly complimentary either. I think that could have been better thought out. I've always thought this kind of looked like one of those vertical prisons, really. I'm not sure what it's like on the inside. It's probably quite decent on the inside, but on the outside, yeesh. Alright, and here we are at Spadina. To the north is more of the U of T campus, including the architecture building, which you can see there. That's Spadina Circle. The street runs around both sides of it. And to the south is Chinatown. And at one time, this was the computer hardware district. You could come and get your computer supplies and hardware. And there were a number of computer places all around this intersection. And I think only a few are left now, such as this one right here. And it's looking south down Augusta Avenue into Kensington Market. I recently just did a walk through Kensington. Well, it's kind of like a shortcut, really, through Kensington while walking from the Horseshoe Tavern to the El Macombo in my video about Toronto's most legendary live music venues. And Kensington was very lively as I walked through. And there's an awesome fire station tower. It might be the best one in the city. Toronto is really blessed with tons of awesome old fire stations. And I think also awesome old public libraries. I think those are the two things that Toronto just did the best. I'd like to get up there and check out the view. There's a nice record store and bookstore. There's the Hogtown Vegan. That's been around for quite a while. And I think we've reached Croft Street, the so-called alleyway that's named like a street. So, let's take one last look down College. This eventually will lead you through Little Italy. Just a bit further to the west once you pass Bathurst Street. But let's continue north now along Croft Street. And let's see what this says here. Croft Street, once known as Ulster Avenue. It's renamed in 1908 after John Croft. The sole fatality of the Great Toronto Fire of April 19th, 1904. Wow, I didn't know that. So that's why Croft Street is called Croft Street. I guess it technically is wide enough to be a street. And it does have some residences. I'm not sure how many are directly accessible from Croft Street as their main entrance as opposed to their back entrance. I know there are a number of new laneway houses that have been springing up across the city, where the main entrance is from the laneway. And I think this goes all the way up to Harvard Street. This one looks like it fronts directly onto the laneway, or Croft Street, if you want to be technical. The humidity is really kicking in now. It's bordering on oppressive feeling. I have walked down some of the other alleyways that run north to south through this neighborhood. just funny that I've never done this one, considering it's probably the most well-known one. I think the graffiti is what makes it an interesting walk. It would be pretty dull otherwise. How now, brown cow? Z. Unicorns versus monsters. And now the sun is trying to come out. I was not expecting that. This looks like a brand new build here. It's a legitimate laneway house. Although I don't see the front door on this side. Maybe it's on the side there. And these are definitely legit laneway houses. Ulster Street. So lots of nice tree-lined streets in this part of the city. These sort of bubble tags here, I don't find them terribly interesting to look at, but this is definitely artwork. What bothers me is when legit artwork is covered up with these big bubble tags. It's like, what were they thinking? No one cares to see that. This one's interesting. What street is that? And I think we're coming to the end of Croft Street. This should be Harbour Street right straight ahead. Central Technical School. It's a very large high school that has been featured in many movies and TV shows due to its sort of massive old school architecture. And I just realized I said old school. It's quite busy. Yeah, I think this is the other laneway I wanted to walk along. I'm not exactly sure though. Albert Jackson Lane. I think this is it. Now this is a laneway I've never before walked through. The ground is very uneven here. If you don't sort of watch where you're walking, you're liable to scuff your shoes on sudden upward thrusting chunks of asphalt. Okay, so this one's called Allen Powell Lane. The other one that I named earlier runs south from Harvard. This is kind of cool. And there's a nice streetcar mural. And the gate at Exhibition Place. Prince's Gate. I had to remember the name of it there. This is quite nice. Got a couple of orcas and a whale shark. And a cockatiel. There we have some trash pandas, as we like to call raccoons in the city. Toronto's most iconic urban wildlife. And there's an old TTC bus that says Dude Man. You gotta love that. I wonder if the walking man dude has seen this. I might have to show this to the walking man dude. And another train theme. And this is cool. This is in the design of the old signage on Honest Ed's. So welcome to the Annex. That's the neighborhood we will emerge into. And speaking of Honest Ed's, those towers rising are on the site of what used to be Honest Ed's. Here's another one of these interesting little village-scape pieces. And here's Bloor Street West. I think I'm just a short jaunt away from Lee's Palace, so maybe I'll end the video in front of Lee's Palace, which is another iconic live music venue in the city. It was just a bit out of range of my previous video about live music venues. Would have been walking through a whole lot of, well, not nothing, but the music venues are rather spread out once you get away from the area south of College. And here's Lee's Palace. This was made famous in the Scott Pilgrim comic book series. And the Al Runt artwork. His artwork is found on buildings throughout the city and is very distinctive. You know it anywhere if you see it. And there's a new roti place. This used to be a burrito place, but roti is almost as good as a burrito. So here we are. So I hope you enjoyed the walk along College Street and then up Croft Street / alleyway, and then continuing up that other alleyway whose name suddenly escapes me, and here to Bloor Street at Lee's Palace. So leave a comment below and like and share. Let me know your thoughts, and be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Tell your friends and your family, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal and via my new merch store. So thanks for watching, and be sure to keep checking back because, as always, I will continue.